marbles.
marbles, and Max has twice as many. Max gave John 5 of his marbles. How many marbles does Max have now?
What would be our answer for this one?
D, miss.
D.
D. D.
T. Yes, Miss Donya.
Yes.
T.
All right. So let's look at how it would have been that answer. It says that John has X marbles. Max has twice as many. So twice as many for Max would have been 2X. It says that Max gives John 5 of his marbles. How many marbles does Max now have? Now, if you notice, the focus is on what Max has. If he had 2X before and he's giving away 5, it means we are subtracting 5 from what he had before. So of course, D is actually the correct answer. Very good. Next one. If 3 plus 2 over X equals 1, then the value of X is?
5.
5. That's one person. Now, in a question like this, where you actually have the answer, what you can do is test the possible answers that are here. So it says that 3 plus 2 over X is equal to 1. So whatever happens over here, in the end, you must get 1 as a solution. What you can do is just test the possible answers that you have listed to see which one actually is correct. So someone said 5. If we put 5 there, we have 3 plus 2 over 5. Could this give us 1?
No, miss.
So that one is off.
Because it'll be 3 times 5 would equal 15 plus 2 would equal 17 over 5.
This is a plus sign.
And that would
It's a plus
equal it.
sign.
It's 1 over 5. 1 over 5.
Negative 1.
I'm hearing 1 over 5. I'm hearing negative 1. I'm going to show the correct one. All right. So test until you get your answer. Your aim is to get a positive 1 as your answer, which means you need to be subtracting something from this 3. That's the only way you would have gotten an answer of 1. The fact that you're adding whatever the fraction is, it means this fraction has to become a negative. Now, the only answer there that has a negative sign is A, and so this was actually a giveaway question. So again, you can test the values. Or 2 divided by negative 1 will end up giving us what value?
Negative 2.
Negative 2.
Negative 2. And so in the end, we will get 1. So that is definitely a way to go. If you are not sure how to do the question, how to solve the equations, you can choose the answers that are there, test them into the equation to see if you get what you're supposed to get. All right. So this one would have been incorrect and this would have been the correct one. So our answer is A. On to the next one. And this is another one. Test. This
A or C.
A or C. You have to have one answer.
There's a positive, right? They have a positive for the answer right there. You circle a negative 1.
All right. That means you would have missed what I was saying. All right, let me go again. So in this question, what we just did was test what we have here as the possible solution. So negative 1, 1 over 5, 1 and 5 to see which one would give us the answer that we want to get. It says 3 plus 2 over X is equal to 1. So whichever one of the values we choose to use, when we finish calculating, our answer must be 1. So we first tested the 5, and when we looked at it, we realized we're not gonna get 1 as the answer because it's 3 plus 2 over 5. So we tested the negative 1. 2 over negative 1. Wherever x is, you're putting the value you're testing. So 2 over negative 1. Now we'd have 3 plus 2 over negative 1 equals 1. When we divide our 2 by negative 1, we'll get negative 2. So we have 3 minus 2, and that would have given us 1. This tells us that this negative 1 that we chose to use is actually the correct answer, this one. So this positive 1 on this side came from our question. That's the solution we should get when we test our values. However, the x value we are getting would be a negative 1. Is that clearer for some persons?
Yes, miss.
All right. So moving to the next one, number 30.
I think the answer is D.
Z, miss.
Z. How did you get your answer? What?
Miss, would you see same thing? Miss, to sub them in like that.
So again, that's a way that you can use this. What topic would this come under? Who remembers this topic?
Substitution.
Number 31. You have 2 equations and you need to solve.
Substitution, miss.
Any other responses?
Simultaneous equation.
Simultaneous equations.
Simultaneous equations.
Whenever you have substitution is different from simultaneous equations. Substitution is a method that you can use to solve the 2 equations. So with simultaneous equations, you have 2 equations and you need to solve to ensure that the letters you have has the same value for both of them, and it makes each of our equations true. So by testing, you would have known. So if you actually tested, we're gonna go with A. So say we tested A first, just to show you what actually happens. Wherever x is, you're putting 15 because your x would be 15 and your y would be 10. So wherever x is, you're putting 15. Wherever y is, you're putting 10. So we have for the first one, x plus 2y equals 27. We have 15 plus 2 multiplied by our y, which is 10. And this is saying we should get 27, right? Testing to see if it gives us that. We'd have 15 plus 2 times 10 gives us what?
20.
20. And so in the end, would they be equal?
No, miss. That would be 30.
This
The answer
gives
is
us
35.
This gives us 35 and it's not a 27, so it can't equal. Telling us that that first option is definitely out of it. So the correct answer is 13 and 7. Again, our x is 13, or y is 7. Testing to show you it works. Now we need to test for both of our equations to see that it works. So we test the first one, x plus 2y. So we have x plus 2 multiplied by 7. And that should give us a 27. So we now have 13. 2 times 7 gives us what?
14.
14. Do we see where it is definitely going to be 27?
Yes, miss.
13 plus 14 is 27. So it works for our first equation. We can go ahead and test for the next one. The next one is 2 multiplied by x, and we see our x is 13. Now it's minus y, which is 7. And that should give us a 19 when we finish working out. So the gist of this is that you are using the same value for x and y in both equations, and it must make both equations true. So 2 times 13 gives us
26.
26.
Minus 7 gives us
19.
19.
19, which means that is definitely the correct answer. All right, so that was number 31 there. Our answer is correct, D. So this one is incorrect, and this is the correct one. Clearing all drawings, moving to the next slide. All right. So here we are faced with binary equations, binary operations, sorry. So we have, if r asterisk s is equal to s raised to r, then 3 asterisk 2 is equal to. When we have binary operations, what are we actually doing?
9.
What are we actually doing?
3
Miss, we're
squared.
substituting.
Substituting, definitely. All right. So we are matching up the values and the letters in the same position, and those would be equal. So we had r asterisk s, which means that our 3 is r and our s is 2. We now need to find out what the value of s asterisk, sorry, s raised to r is. So s is 2 and our r is 3.
Here.
So we now have
A.
2 raised to 3. And what does this mean? Is it 6?
2 times 2 times 2.
2 times 2 times 2. So the base number, which is the bigger one, is multiplied based on the number that you have in your index, a smaller number. So the index tells you how many times to multiply the base. So it's 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. So you're multiplying 2 3 times. 2 times 2, 4 times 2. So the answer is actually 8. All right. Next one. Let's jump over to 26 since it's so much similar to what we just did. Same substitution. And I'm waiting for you to tell me the answer. And the person who tell me the answer has to come on and write how they got the answer.
B. Yeah.
Who shout B? Hardly?
No, miss.
Who shout B? Shout it again.
I answer, yeah, I answer.
All right, want a writer. We can go through. Hunter, can you write on the screen?
No, miss. No, miss.
What here? Who's going to show out for this group now? Who?
Javon is doing it.
All right. So wherever our x is, we're putting -2. Wherever y is, we're putting 3, and our t is 2. We have an index outside of a fraction. So the index is distributed over all the numbers in the fraction. And it's the same thing as saying, how many times should I multiply this fraction? I'm multiplying the fraction twice. All right, so this is one way to do it. And you're actually showing both ways. Great. So you're multiplying -2/3 by itself. So -2 times -2 gives you the +4, and the 3 multiplied by itself gives you the 9. So our answer is B. Next question. 24. Just shout it out. Shout the answer for me.
D.
D.
E.
Good, good.
C.
Who can remind me how we got the D? The 6 over 5
C,
X
C,
as
Miss,
the
C,
answer.
C, C.
Sir, Miss, because
Miss, the 5, yeah, same denominator, so they're going to remain the same, and then just add the 2 right up.
right.
Nice. And this works for addition
See
and
now.
which other operation?
Subtraction.
Remember subtraction. So if you had subtraction there, you could do the same thing. So once the denominators are the same, you're adding and subtracting, you keep the denominator and you just add or subtract the numerators. Jumping over to 27, what's the answer?
A.
Same thing, Miss. A.
A. Why?
Well, yeah, add the 2 powers and multiply the 2 numbers and leave the thing there. The X.
The X.
Miss, I jump down at 27. I think at 25 again.
We're looking at
25.
the ones that we can remember from previous questions, and then we're gonna tackle the new one. All right. So just listen for the numbers before you decide to work out some. All right. So we're now at 25. So let's go.
C.
Still removing brackets. How we remove brackets again?
Miss, just multiply.
By multiplying
By the
what's
number
outside by what's inside.
Nice. Shout your answer now.
Miss
Let's
C.
see. Somebody says C. Let's
C,
see.
C, C.
Let's see if you're correct. So 5 multiplied by X gives us
5x
5X.
plus 5y
5 multiplied by Y.
Plus 5y.
5Y. Jumping over to the next side, we have -3.
minus 3x
Minus 3x. Boy, go on, you.
plus 3y.
Plus
Yes.
3y.
And then our -3 times our negative Y. Negative
a
times
positive.
negative gives us
Positive.
positive.
Well
So
done.
we have a positive
Miss.
Y.
Miss.
Group your like terms, Miss.
Miss, I have a
Group
question.
like terms. Go ahead.
Mr. Leave out the
Why you
Why?
don't have
Let's leave out the y.
Y.
You have
Why?
five.
Let me write it there now. Question coming from someone had a question.
I think the question was why you didn't write the why.
Why the Y isn't there? All right, that was just an error. Thanks for seeing that. That means you not pay attention. I like that. All right. So we finished doing our multiplication. Now we're gonna group our like terms. I heard that coming out before. So we have, I'm gonna write it down.
5x
5x plus 5y
5x minus
Minus the
3x.
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 So putting all the x's together. Now
Plus
the Y
5y.
plus 5y
5y
Plus
plus
3y.
3y.
plus or 3y.
You're gonna get 2x
Gonna get
C.
2x.
Well done. Well done.
plus
What
8
about for the y's?
plus 8y.
It's
What's
right.
correct?
C.
So C is the answer. You could, by just expanding, you could have knocked out the 2x as the answer because a y needs to be there. Also, you could have knocked out the 2x plus 2y as well. All right, and get to your answer. Now, moving to our next set of questions. Let's go.
You know, it could have been D. Could have been A. Could have been B.
If you made an error with the sign, it could have been D, but of course it's incorrect. All right. So searching for one question that you have done before, 1 or 2. Tell me the numbers, tell me the answer, but I want you to raise your hand.
29 as
I
D.
want you to raise your hand. Where is it? All right, go ahead, Audley.
No, Miss, never mind.
A cheer.
Miss, at the 3 of them still 29, 31, 28. Same difference.
Miss my hand raised stills.
I'm searching for you.
Amisha, sir.
You sure say your hand raised?
Stefan,
All right, I'm seeing it now. Go ahead. Which
So
question?
29
What's the answer?
is the dog, the
Next one, any other one?
31 A.
All right, nice. So multiple choice is basically a memory thing. However, you must read the questions. So even though it looks similar, you must read the questions to ensure that they're asking the same thing. Because if they have the same values but are asking something else and you choose the wrong answer, you lose 1 mark already. So even though they look familiar, ensure you read the questions before you circle your answer. Is there any other one that we would have done before?
28 means
28.
the
What's the
answer
answer?
is D.
What is it?
D. That's the one we are circling. Come see how fast.
So this time around, they switched up the order of the answer. So that's another thing. Look to see if they switch the order. So of course, we would have removed or we'd have moved over or 3. So we'd have had 9 minus 3. Would have gotten 2x. And again, we are using the inequality sign here, this greater than equal to sign as an equal sign, but we're not changing it. So our 3 goes over, the sign is changed to its opposite. So 9 minus 3 would have given us the 6. And we need to finish off with moving that 2.
Divide it both sides by 2.
So our answer is x greater than or equal to 3. All right, so we're on to number 30. The area of the rectangle in centimeters squared or squared centimeters is x squared. Which of the following questions may be used, may be used to find the value of x? So they're telling us that x squared represents the area of the shape. How do we calculate area again of this specific shape?
Then times width.
10 times width. All right. So right away, we can just decide what is our length, what is our width. What's our length?
X minus 4 centimeters.
Minus 4.
What's our length? I think the 2 is
No, 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters.
All
Keep on
right.
that.
And we are
But go on
multiplying.
length and width are the same thing. Same
4.
unit. X minus 4.
Or x minus 4.
What that one time?
So which one is the answer?
A.
A. All right, so this is still algebra, but them just are mixing the measurements with the algebra, which is fine because you don't know this, you got this. All right, everybody good with this question?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, moving on.
No.
Tell me your issue, let me see if I can solve the problem.
I can't describe it. I just have a problem.
Antoine, sure. All right,
Excuse me, Miss.
yes.
Miss, this not really have to do with the question in particular, but for C, if you did get that in a one question, how would you solve it?
All right, so you want to see how we'd solve this. Finding a space. So we have x squared equals 2. I'm removing that multiplication sign. I'm just writing it as is in the answer. Minus 4. Of course, we want to get the. Of course, we want to get the value of x.
Miss, not that one, Miss.
Which question?
Miss, the answer at
C.
The one at C. How would you solve it?
This one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. No problem.
You work out this first. You work out the first bracket, then you use the first bracket, multiply the second one.
Yeah, so you are going to be removing your brackets. So you start off with the simpler one where you have 2 multiplied by x minus 4. So I can just add on this part to it, x minus 2. So we're working out the simpler part first.
The
2 times x gives us 2x. 2 times our -4 gives us
-8.
But we still have one next bracket where we have to deal with same way. We have x minus 2. So we still have to continue to remove brackets again. Still writing our x squared because it's a part of our equation. So now we have 2x multiplied by
X.
x.
2x squared.
2x squared.
2x squared.
Minus 10.
Then our 2x multiplied by -2 gives us
-4x.
-4x. So we're on to the 8 now. -8 multiplied by
x
-8x.
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 And -16.
Positive.
-2. Positive.
Plus 16.
All right.
What on today?
All right. Next step, we have to group our terms again. So we have.
Right, what the 2x squared?
Let's group all our x squares together. So we're moving over this x squared. What will be left on this side?
0.
No.
Nothing. 0. It comes
2x
over.
squared.
And we're putting it right beside our x squared.
Minus.
Minus.
It comes over as a minus x squared. Or minus 4x minus 8x would have given us what?
-12x.
Minus 12x. -12x.
Same signs. We're adding or subtracting. Add and keep the sign. And we still have plus 16. Just quickly finishing up here. X squared. So 2x squared minus x squared gives us x squared. Minus our 12x plus or 16. And I'm going back to write the 0 or yourself. What are we looking at now? What type of equation?
Quadratic equation.
A quadratic equation.
But miss, come like you make it back way. No way.
I make it back way. I can write it. I can have my x squared minus 12x plus 16. And then we can write our equal. All we did was to turn the equation. All right. So we're faced with a quadratic equation. What's the method? What are the methods that we can use to solve a quadratic equation?
You can use a formula.
You can use a formula, or you can use
factorization.
So let's see if we can use factorization. Are there factors of 16 that we can add to get a -12?
4.
4.
4, miss 4.
4 times what? 4 times 4 gives us 16, but 4 plus 4 is 12. Any other values comes to mind?
No more today.
8.
8 and 2. But that not give us
12. -2.
That not going to give us the
8 and 2. 8 and 2. 8 and 2. No.
8 and 2
will have to use a formula.
So when so once you are trying and you're not getting values, jump to the formula. So we could have used the formula to solve this. We need to go through all of that.
No, miss, that too long.
I know that way. Yeah, makes no.
All right. So you could have used the quadratic formula when you got to here to solve. We're gonna just proceed with some more multiple choice questions. Leave this for another time. All right.
Miss Robinson, my hand is raised. Can you see it? Some students are asking for you to actually go over the whole process that you went through a while ago, right here.
Right here. Right here.
Yeah.
All right, no problem.
Right, one more time. Thanks.
All right. So someone just asked randomly, how would we have solved the equation that is posted here in C for our answer C? So we're just looking at what steps to take. It says x squared equals 2 times x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 2. The first step would have taken would be to remove the first bracket, or try to remove the first bracket we have. Just to remembering that we are also going to be multiplying this bracket that we would have cleared up by our next bracket, which is x minus 2. So we're multiplying what's outside of this bracket by what's inside. So it's 2 multiplied by the x to give us the 2x. 2 multiplied by the -4, which would have given us the -8. This is still within a bracket by itself because we still need to multiply all of that by x minus 2. So in the second step, we are doing that. So we now have 2x minus 8, which would have gotten from this part where we multiplied our bracket by 2, and we're multiplying that by x minus 2. Same process. What's outside of our bracket is multiplied by everything inside of the next bracket. So what's inside this bracket? Multiplied by everything inside the next bracket. Starting off with 2x. 2x multiplied by x gave us the 2x squared. 2x again, multiplying the -2 this time, gave us -4x. Onto the -8 here. -8 multiplied by x gives us the -8x. And our -8 multiplied by -2 gave us the +16. Flowing thus far?
That's how you get
Miss. Yes, miss.
How we got the -2?
Yeah, that's on the first one next to the x minus 4.
We're just looking at how to work out one of the answers. It's not the correct answer for this question. We're just looking at how to work it out. So it's actually a part of this equation that was given for C. X squared equals 2x, 2 bracket x minus 4, bracket x minus 2. It's not our answer. So I don't want you to think that's our answer. It's not our answer. We're just extending knowledge by seeing how to work out one of the questions that would have been, one of the equations that would have been an option. All right. So we'll be here. We now need to group our like terms. We have x squares. So we are bringing over this x squared to the 2x squared that we have on this side. When it goes over the equal sign, it changes to a -x squared. And where it's coming from, we have nothing over there. So we use a 0 to represent that. Now we group our 4 or x terms. So our -4 minus our 8x. Same signs add and keep the sign. So we end up having -12x here. And we are writing back the 16 since we're not doing anything to it. In the next step, we are grouping we're actually simplifying our x squared terms. So we have 2x squared minus x squared. We'd have gotten our x squared, and we write back the -12x, and we write back the 16. We are stopping here because we don't want to, go through this whole process when we actually should be going through the multiple choice questions. You'll definitely see this again, all right? But that's where we're ending with that question. So clearing all, working out, and moving to the next set of questions.
And they would not have asked you to do something so complex on a multiple choice paper, because in essence, you are given 1.5 minutes to answer each question.
The sum of relative numbers P and Q is 32. The difference.
All right. So as Mrs. Patton just said, you're not going to get something so complex. Most of the things would have been something you can just figure out right away. All right, because you probably would need a calculator for that question. And so they would give you that. They're giving you questions that don't require calculators. All right, so again, searching to see if there are questions that we would have done already. Do you see any?
10.
This one here. All right.
That
So
one, yes, please.
So this
10.
one here, if 3 plus 2 over x is equal to 1, then the value of x is, we did this already. What was the answer? A, which is -1. So just searching through to find the ones you can grab the marks for right away, and then you tackle the new ones. That's a good way to go as well. All right, so going straight back to the first question here.
That would be miss. That would be A.
Two consecutive numbers, P and Q, is 32. Did I say consecutive? Of two positive numbers.
I said C. I said C.
Their difference is 12. What is the
Here's
smaller
the answer. The two
number?
numbers are 22 and 10.
C?
C.
A, miss.
C.
A.
C.
The two numbers are 22
How
and
did you get your answer? How?
Miss, the two numbers are 22 and 10.
I can't explain. I know it says C.
Oh, you know, say C if you don't know how to find it out.
Miss, the two numbers are 22 and 10.
Make break down the question to find out how they know it is whatever they are saying it is and what is actually correct. So we're breaking down and we're looking at the keywords in the question. The first keyword, sum. Sum of P and Q is what?
32.
32. So we're writing that down.
Simultaneous equation.
Yeah, the answer. A.
It's not a debate, you know, because we are going to see who is wrong and who is right. So we wait your turn. We're going through the process. So we have P plus Q, because sum means we're adding, and the sum, they say it is 32. Following?
Miss.
The difference. What does that word mean though? Subtract. And we are using the numbers as the letters, just as how they appear, So we have P minus Q, and that should give us 12. Jumping into some simultaneous equations now. Using the elimination method. So once we have our letters having the same coefficient, then the next step is to eliminate one of them. So we can either add or we subtract. But we decide on which letter we are getting rid of, which one we want to be 0. All right?
Makes sense too.
So say we're using P, which is actually the simpler one in this case. If we wanted to get rid of the P in both of our equations, would we add or subtract?
Subtract.
Subtract. So P minus P gives us the 0. You notice I put a bracket around this because this minus sign is going to be used for everything that is here. So now we have Q minus Q, and I'll write that, a positive Q minus Q equal or 32, just like when you're doing regular subtractions, minus 32 minus 12.
2Q equal 20.
Then have 2Q equal 20.
Because this becomes plus, and our 32 minus 12 would have given us
20.
Trying to get the value of Q. So
10.
We're not done yet. Hold on, no,
Miss,
man.
10.
You don't know.
Miss, I'm sure.
You don't know.
Miss, I'm sure.
But you need to find out what P is. So Q is 10.
32.
What is P?
32 minus 10.
All right. 32 minus 10
equal 22.
Would have given you what P is.
10. See? 10.
All right, Unta, take the crackers.
Okay.
Crackers in want. Because we know you a trophy. How much crackers in want? All right. So, the benefit of persons who really are not sure how we're going through and getting the answer, please, me, I beg you to be patient. I'm running over this again just to ensure everyone gets it. No, it's a worded question, which means you have to look for keywords, and that will tell you what to do. Words like some, words like difference, this other word, smaller, is very important as well. So we know some means we're adding. So we're adding the two numbers, and when we add them, we get 32. Difference, we're subtracting those two numbers, letters in this case, P and Q, and we should get 12 when we subtract. Now going through simultaneous equations, because we have two equations that we need to solve, and the answer we get for these letters must work for both of them, just like the question we did previously. We need to eliminate one. If we're going with the elimination method, we need to eliminate one to get the value of the other. So we are subtracting our P mainly because they have the same sign. So when we subtract, we'll end up getting 0. Subtracting everything in the equation, so our positive Q minus negative Q, that would have given us the 2Q. Our 32 minus our 12 would have given us the 20. Now, all this that we are doing is trying to get the value of Q. Now, when we go through our steps, so we divide both sides of our equation by 2, we get our Q to be 10. We get with 10, we say, all right, if Q is 10, then what is P? If we're gonna add Q to P, we must get 32. So to find out P, we do the reverse. 32 minus our Q, and we'd have gotten our P to be 22. Jump into the next keyword. It says, what is the smaller number? Right away, we see that the 10 is actually the smaller number. We get our answer, and we can move on. But you actually cannot skip steps. You have to go through this one to ensure you pick out the correct number. Because what if when you got this Q to be 10, a smaller number? No, it wouldn't happen in this case. But given another question, you got the bigger number first. Then you'd have to find out what the next letter is to find out if that would actually be the smaller number or the bigger number. So you have to find both of them. All right, next question. Going through this worded one, then we'll go to our substitution. When 6, I want to read, my voice tired.
When 6 is added to a number and the sum is divided by 3, the result is 4. This statement written in mathematical symbol is?
All right, so breaking down the question again. It says we're adding 6 to a number. We don't know the number, we'll use a letter to represent it. If you look, you are seeing 6 plus X in A, and you're seeing 6 plus X in C as well. Right away, you knock out B and D. Those cannot be your answers. Now you move into the next part of it. It says the sum of the 6 and the X must be divided by 3. So you add up your 6 and your X, you're going to divide the answer by 3.
6, miss.
Both of them same thing. The last part. The result is 4. Which one of them has a result of 4? A. So right away, A is our answer.
X to the equal.
Where them come back? Where them come from with that 3 here?
Miss, X to the equal 6. Miss,
So
X to the equal 6.
X would have been 6. Yeah,
yes.
Work question. All right. On to the next one. Substitution. Can I have a writer this time?
Yes, miss.
That's Martin. Go ahead.
Miss, am I right?
I don't see him writing. Okay, he's doing it now.
It's answer B still, but never mind.
Martin, just do the substitution. So we have x squared, or 4 is x. So we're having 4 raised to 2, 4 squared, plus or 3 multiplied by y, which is 2. Go ahead, you're gone. How many times can we get?
2 times.
2. So we knock out A. 6, and it's 22 minus 16 would have given us. You're using your calculator, are you? Yes, you are.
No.
No,
22. Come,
did work it out before.
we never work out this one. 22 divided, minus 16 gives you what? Gives you what?
6.
6. So we'll have 6. Write the fraction.
I'm not understanding. All answer options are fractions.
Write the fraction. There's no there's no decimal answer there.
Miss, me did I go put the fraction after?
Write the fraction only.
All right.
0.
So we have our 2, and then we'll have our 6 over 8. That's not there, which means we need to reduce the fraction. So we use our 2 to reduce. So 2 divided by, 6 divided by 2, 3. 8 divided by 2, 4. So our answer is actually D.
The way you get B from?
I said never mind. Relax. Relax.
Follow up.
I get D.
Sure.
All right.
I don't even worry about anything. I use my head.
Next set of questions. I'm gonna reach it. All right, here we go. Knocking out the ones we have done before already. Is there any question here that we have done before? Let's knock that out.
26A.
26A. Any other one? Thanks for that, Martin. And we also did this last one here. And we got reading again to ensure it says smaller number, because I could have said the bigger number. So the smaller number there is 10, still A. All right, so we're going through the other questions. So back at 25, removing brackets again. So let's go. 5 multiplied by or 2x gives us?
D at the answer.
5 multiplied by 2x gives us 10x.
10x minus 1.
And then our 5 multiplied by or -1.
5, -5.
-5.
Oh, so I see the answer.
35. See, they guess the answer them here.
Miss,
Work it out.
I said D.
The way I work it now.
A 4.
Next step,
No,
what
no,
do we
no.
do next?
Carry over the 5.
Carry over the 5 to the 30 and turn it positive.
Thanks for that.
That'll be
So
40.
we are moving over that negative 5. It becomes a positive 5. So we have 35 plus 5, and that gives us
40.
40.
See it?
So we now have 10x equals 40. Next step is to do what?
Both
Divide by
sides.
10.
So our answer is
4. D.
D, 4. Correct.
Hardly how you feel.
You say B, brother. You say
Who
B.
said B?
You say B.
Nobody said B hardly.
Room.
Hunter said B first.
Nobody said B hardly.
Sure.
On to the next one. Can I have someone read this, please?
7 times
7
the product of two numbers A and B may be written as
All right. What's the key word in this question?
Product.
Product. And what does product mean? To
multiplication.
add? To
The
multiply.
sum of a
So
multiplication.
it says we're multiplying 7 by 2 other numbers.
7AB.
D.
7A.
What?
7AB. Remember,
wanted to be a
times
while ago.
is also saying the same thing as product. Both of them saying to multiply. So we're multiplying 7 by the two numbers A and B. So it's 7AB. We're good?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Next question. If X is an integer that satisfies the inequality, 2x is greater than 4, but less than or equal to 6, then how do we tackle a question like this?
Miss, I think you
The
divide
The coefficient.
Hold on.
Miss, you go put all the numbers them over 2.
right.
Answer 8.
You're dividing both of your numbers on either side of your 2x by 2. So it's just like you're doing an equation, but this time around, you have basically two parts to your equation. You have this side over here and the next side to the right. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do it to the other. And your aim again is to try to get your x by itself. So the only thing there to do is to remove the 2, it's multiplying. So we're doing the opposite. So we divide both sides by 2. Doing that, we have x alone now. We have on this side, the left side, what value would we get here? 4 divided by 2?
Positive 2.
Positive 2. And we don't need to look on nothing else because all of our other answers have something different. We don't even have to try to work out what 6 over 2 is divided by 2 is. All right, so this was another giveaway. So hinting again, when you are calculating, you may go ahead and start to eliminate answers that cannot be, right? That gives you a better chance of choosing the correct answer. On to our next set of questions.
Miss, what time we are go until 6 or 6:30?
6. We stop at 6. So we have about 12 minutes to go. Hold on there. PowerPoint not responding. Just a sec, guys. All right, back on track. All right, here goes. So we're now at June 2014. We started at 2011, we're there at 2014, we are moved. Knocking out all the questions that we would have done before. Tell me them, the first one.
The first one is A.
Yeah, 8.
Any other one?
The last one is A as well.
Wait a minute. Next one. Remember to read the question, you know, before you decide. Sometimes some words are changed. Any other one?
No,
I
miss.
think that's
How about this one?
That one there,
Did we do this
D.
one?
No,
Did we do
miss.
this one?
But
Oh.
it look like D, miss.
Look
It
at
look
the
like D.
denominators.
no
Miss, you
man.
go find the LCM.
The answer that
Different.
be B.
All right.
Yeah,
So
the
let's
answer.
do this one now. So yet again, we have fractions.
It
However,
could be
this time
C.
around, our denominators are different. And in this case, somebody shouted right as we looked at the question. You have to find the LCM.
Miss, look at them, miss, but for this, we can just eliminate, you know, and just get the answer easy.
Because the LCM must
Because it couldn't be A and it couldn't be B, and where X squared come from.
Before you eliminate, you need to know what the LCM is, right? So because the denominators are different, we have to find the LCM. So going through, I'm going to rewrite the question so you're seeing everything.
Yeah, the fourth one.
pretty easy.
What's our LCM?
15x.
15x. Now, you would have seen some x squares there. You'd have seen 8. Why couldn't it be 8? Let's tackle that one first. Why couldn't it be 8?
Because it's an X squared and the
Why?
X is not 8.
It's not.
Miss, it have
LCM
squared
for
beside it.
Wait, no man, let's
3
talk about the 8
X and
first.
5X.
It's not a multiple.
Listen or not? Listen up, no man, listen to the question.
Yeah.
We are trying to eliminate, as you say. Why couldn't it be 8?
Because it's not a multiple of either 5 or 3.
Thanks for that answer. It's not a multiple of 5 or 3. 5 or 3 cannot go into 8 without leaving a remainder. So that's not a multiple. All right. So we look to see what the common multiple is. 15, we got that to be. Now looking at the letter, some persons would have used x squared. So they would have gone with C as the answer. But why would they be incorrect?
Because the equations they're not multiplying.
They're not multiplying. Any other?
And then as a command, so them
if it was a case where it said 5y 1 over 5y plus 2 over 3x, then you could have said it would have been xy, but because they have 2x, you keep the 1x because it's similar.
I wrote this here for a reason. What does the L represent?
Lowest.
Come on, man.
So the lowest common multiple would be an x raised to 1. And so that's what we'd have to choose. If, for example, we had square here, what would be our lowest common multiple?
X.
X.
That'd be true too. So
All right, let me put, let me see. Yeah, man, this is good. What would be our lowest common multiple for this one if I put square there?
15x.
15x.
Could you?
Wait, no.
Wait, which part I miss?
X squared.
I'm now changing
time.
this x squared. You see in the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, what would be my LCM in this case?
15x squared.
15x squared.
The square would be needed. All right, so the common multiple here would have been the x. However, you will have a squared x on this side, right? And so you have to increase the index to by 1, of course, in this case. So you'd have to use that 15x squared. Now, erasing all of that, back to our question. By just finding our LCM, we can get to our answer. and we say it's not x squared, it is x, so it's 15. X, that is the lowest common multiple there. And so we can just go right ahead and circle D. Now, just to continue, so you can see what happened. So we'd have our 15x divided by 5x, and that would have given us what?
2.
How many times can you get 15x out of, sorry, 5x out of 15x?
3.
3. Now let me show you what happens. This is what you're doing.
9 minus.
So yeah, cancel.
Times 2.
5 into
4.
5, 1. 5 into 15, 3. So you get your 3. That 3 is used to multiply numerator. So you end up getting 1 times 3, which is 3. Next one, or 15 divided by 3x gives us what?
5.
5. Or 5 is used to multiply a numerator of that same fraction, so we end up getting 10. In the end, we add our numerators, so we end up having 13 over 15x. We're good?
Yes, miss.
Next question.
See.
See?
Me say the substitute.
Yes.
Substitute. You sure it's only substituting?
And square.
It's more than substitute.
All right, so I want someone to show me how you got to your answer. So let me just read through the question. It says if A is equal to 3 and A times B is 6, then A squared minus B squared is equal to. Who was writing just now? Never said the name.
Never mind.
Never right now, brother?
Miss, we know that A don't equal 3 already. I want to say A times B would that equal 6. So how much times 3 can go in a 6 would that equal B?
B would that be like 2.
Right.
Yeah.
You are right.
So when you,
yes. So that would that equal 3 squared 9 minus 4. 2 squared equal 4. So the answer would be 5.
All right, so miss, using this now, miss, to find B, B unknown, whatever equals that. You divide the 3 itself and the 3 over this. Blah, blah. This would be 2. B would equal 2, right, miss?
Will you erase it?
No, because it never do properly.
Write it again. So you have your A. Your A is 3. Put your B there is equal to 6. So you first need to find out what B is. But you got a setup to give you that. Your 3 multiplied by B gives you 6. So you are solving that equation there to get what B is. Remove your 3 by dividing both sides by 3. So our B is 2. Now we know what A is, we know what B is. We can substitute to find out the answer for that part of the question.
So it's a 9 minus 4 equal 5. Yeah. Miss, I'm finished.
All right. So that's how we go through that question. It has 2 parts to it. It gives us A, but we have to find B. After we have found B, we just substitute, apply, and we would have gotten the answer. Everybody good?
Yes, miss.
All right, we have 3 minutes and we jump into another set of questions. So let's clear and continue. Knocking out all the ones we know the answer to. Ready? Go ahead and circle.
4.
Circle,
circle.
All right, so the first one is 4. Do we know the answer to any other? All right. And I love this one. You realize they keep switching around the answers for this. It was first A, then it was D, and now it's in the position of B. All right. So remember, all you're doing is solving for X, using this symbol as your equal sign, not changing it, but just pretending as if it's an equal sign. You move over your 3, then you divide by your 2. So answer here, B. This one over here would have removed our brackets.
Miss, Miss, the one with the circle B, you can do it, please.
All right, we'll go through it again. Is everyone good with the first one, or do you want me to go through that one too?
Yes, Miss, I'm all right with that.
All right. Go through it again. Yes, all right, so we'll go with the first one first then. So going again, we have 5 bracket 2x minus 1 bracket equals or 35. Once we have bracket, we need to remove it so we can release our term so we can move around the things. So ready? We are removing our bracket using this 5 that is directly in front of it. So we use that to multiply everything inside our bracket. So our 5 times our 2x, that gives us what?
10x.
10x. Or 5 multiplied by our negative 1.
Minus 5.
Minus 5. Still having our 35 on this side of the equation. Our next step is to remove that number that is subtracting from our 10x. It goes over as
positive 5.
A positive 5. So we now have 35 plus 5, and that gives us
40.
40. So we have 10x equals 40. What's our next step?
It's a divide it by both sides.
Divide it. What is it?
10.
The 10. So we're moving the 10. It was multiplying. We're dividing each of our sides by 10. So we now have x. First, cancel. We have x is equal to 4, which is D. The next one, we have our 2x plus 3. We're moving anything adding or subtracting. In this case, we have 3 adding to our value. It goes over the inequality sign, which we say we're using as an equal sign. So the same rule applies. Once this positive 3 goes over the inequality sign, it becomes a negative 3. So we have 9 minus 3 here. So we have 2x.
64A, that would be B.
What's happening? 2x greater than or equal to what value?
6.
Next step is to remove our 2. So we divide each side by the 2, just like what we did over this side. So our x is greater than or equal to 3. That's how I've gotten that. All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes, miss. B.
We have 8a squared. What we said the square mean again? What we said that little number they mean? What the little number mean?
You multiply by some 2 times.
So because our small number at that top, that's index, is 2, it's telling us to multiply our base, which is here, by itself. So we have 8a multiplied by 8a.
D is 64A squared.
Multiplying the number, we get 6 numbers, we get 64. We can't knock off anything yet. Well, yeah, we knock off the 16 and the 16, A and C. Now we're multiplying the A, we're keeping the base, and we're adding the index. Of course, the index of our A's by themselves would have been a 1. So we're adding the index to get a 2. 64A squared is our answer, which is D.
Next we have to write 8A bracket square with a bit 8 times A squared. Same thing.
8 squared
times A squared.
Definitely correct. So what you're doing in that case is distributing this here. All right, same thing, same answer you're gonna get. All right, next one. If P over 5 is equal to 20, who wants to shout cross multiply with me?
Cross multiply.
Cross multiply. Shout that long time. Look how your time for shine and you're not shout it. Cross multiply. Now in this case where you have an equal sign between two fractions or a fraction and a whole number, you cross multiply. Right? Of course, the whole number is over 1, so you can do that. So you have your P is equal to
dog
20 multiplied by 5. So your answer here is D. All right, we are gonna end here today, Mrs. Patton. We're ending today.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is the end of today's session. We're stopping at what year? I can't even see it. 2014, June 2014. We'll continue again when this topic comes back around. We have class again next week. Not sure if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, but just listen out for that. Hope you had a great session. Have a good rest of the afternoon.
Okay, bye, miss.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Question, miss, when you do CSEC, you can write on the multiple choice paper, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
However, even though you're making your little jottings on it, you are going to be shading the bubble sheet because they're not going to be marking the question paper. They're marking the bubble sheet. All right?
Ah, boy.
You guys get a paper.
All right, thank you.
If you guys get a paper, physical paper.
When I say, miss?
What you're saying?
They mean by physical, if.
Oh, she mean like if I get a paper for do rough work on Tevon.
Oh, that I mean, okay.
No, I mean, you may be sitting the exam online.
Who attack? I know miss attack.
All right. So everything is not finalized yet, but you will be notified. You'll be notified. So don't worry yourself. Just go and practice your maths. Do your thing. All right. Have a great holiday. Practice some maths. Do some work. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna go sleep. All right, miss.
Exam.
5, 4,